So so Polka Bear, you got something over there? I know you're digging over there.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at so it's the Santa Fe, New Mexican, June 8th. It's the front page edition. So front page news, and this is not going to just go to press without some kind of scrutiny. So the editors of the paper are really going to look at this. So she would have had to had this in. So what we found out is that on a weekday, one of the reporters responded to my questions, and he told me that the newspapers, the final article has to be submitted into the press room by 11 p.m. at night. They want to have editorial content edited before 7 p.m. So between 6 and 7 p.m. they want to have the final draft ready to go to press. By 11 p.m. it's in the press room, it's getting printed. So on the weekends, it's an even tighter time period. So now they probably want to go to press earlier. So that means they want to have this thing edited before the 6 to 7 p.m. timeline, which means this being a front page article is going to have even more scrutiny because they want to make sure that everything's accurate. So she may have had to had this thing to the press within 6 hours.
Right, exactly.
8 hours, 10 hours. So yeah, definitely under a 12-hour window to get this to the paper. And I'm sorry, but she did not write the article. So Daniel Prokup wrote the article, which if you look at the name Prokup, and you anagram it, it's K-Pro-Op. So K-Pro operative.
That's some shit too.
and there was a co-author, Robert Knott, that wrote one half of the front page article, and she wrote the other half of the front page article talking about the lawsuits.
Okay, so
incorporated in Wyoming.
Yep. And this author, Danielle, says that she reached out Sunday for comment to Hansen as well as Erskine. Erskine responded, Hansen did not. So she would have. Oh yeah, this was just a major work of miracles here to be able to get this into the press in time, and for this person to be able to reach out to 2 additional people for comment, then write this story, then get it submitted in for the editorial review process, and then get it printed. And now you're telling me that she was either out in the woods hunting that weekend, or she was driving.
It's the wrong one.
What was she doing? Attention seeking? Was she attention seeking? You know? Huh?
And I don't know about all of you, but when I found out the treasure was found, I was just like in shock. I was just walking around like depressed and a zombie.
Hi, everybody. I'll be back online tomorrow for our scrapbook discussion, as I stated. But a few things on their drama. Number one, I emailed the reporters to let them know that there's a defamation suit pending, and that what they were fed by Greg and Daddy Mac, who I think is the same person who can't spell, are one and the same, and that they should disregard any communications from them, and that I was the solver, and that the fund should start whenever it's done. So, and I told them, just like the editor told his staff over at the Santa Fe paper, that they shouldn't talk to Greg, etc. woman is going to have no idea who I am other than potentially taking down a very quick story. Okay, that's it. That's what the press do. I have no recollection how I ever spoke to them, when I spoke to them.
So just to clarify here, Greg, like I was a general assignment reporter who did work the weekends. I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday during COVID, during that awful time at the beginning of the pandemic at the New Mexican. I was given the Forrest Fenn story by Phil on a Sunday morning, but Robert gave the calls and the talks there. And I'm really concerned if he's saying that he was pulled off that story and it was given to me. And any of the contact that was had with Barbara or with Forrest was with Robert.
It's just strange because like Barbara Anderson in her text, because it's coming out to be, it could be fraud, like her text.
Yeah.
Like she tried to file.
And there was a very good reason why I uncovered Jack, because I knew on merits, in good faith, that whoever was doing this, there was no one physically with me, and I knew something was wrong. Okay, and I knew that it wasn't either someone cheated who had texted me, or now in retrospect, I guess it's part of the spoof team, right, which we've discussed. But I do think it's very interesting, and it shows the incompetence and the laziness of the judges.
Like Barbara Anderson in her text, because it's coming out to be, it could be fraud, like her text.
Yeah.
Like she tried to file a lawsuit on June 8th, which she did on Monday, after your guys' article went on June 7th, Sunday, in the morning.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know what time that was released? I know it was before 10 a.m. I think it was like 8 in the morning.
It was such a breaking story. I think I wrote it at 7 in the morning, and it was edited by 9:30.
7 in the morning. So you're calling somebody that early? You've already talked to Forrest and Barbara?
7 a.m. on
She
the 7th.
admitted she never talked to either one of them.
Well, not to her, but it was already written. It was already done at 7 a.m. in the morning on a fucking Sunday.
Yeah, it was written.
Oh,
It was
the
written the night
information
before.
given to her. Yeah.
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 So it was already done and pre-planned.
Yep.
So I think we were collecting a little bit of information and stuff and plugging in 9:30, and then it filed right around then.
Yeah, because because a lot of things with Barbara Anderson and her going on the news and stuff like that. I mean, because that's perjury. That's fraud.
Yeah.
She's claiming hacking. She's claiming hacking when she's texting herself. You see where I'm coming from?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and the problem is what the concern is Forrest Fenn didn't know he was being sued. You know what I mean? Because nobody responded to Barbara Anderson at all, and she sued on Monday. Nothing's adding up due to the fact the time frames. All the time frames are not adding up at all, because all the documentations we have aren't adding up with the time frames, because she said she was being hacked. She said she didn't contact you guys until after 11:30. And then your news broke at 9:30, 10 o'clock at the latest in the morning. And she said she didn't contact until after that. And we're just wondering, how did she get in the article when she never contacted you around that time? You see where I'm coming from? You see how it's not making sense? And we have the proof for it.
And again, that's where I have some hesitation. My name is on that article, but I did not do. It. Robert has only a contributing line, and I did feel uncomfortable at the time in the newsroom because. So again, I have this concern. I just have a small concern here about it's my name that's on the story, but I didn't do most of the reporting. And again, I'll say it on the record. I think that was a fairly unfortunate practice at the New Mexican.